Alrighty,
Swarmer also.
there we
There we
go.
go.
We are live. Audio is working. I had issues with my audio Tuesday, I think it was. But this is because I double checked. Session 87. Anita will join us as soon as she's able. But you guys are basically um, kind of gearing up and running down the clock for when the dwarves have your star metal sword or your dragon bone sword made, so that you can slot the gems into it, and hopefully that will be enough to defeat Jakuz. But in the meantime, since you've got time to kill, you've been kind of wandering around, tying up some loose ends. Paid a little visit to Hythe, dealt with the vampire, and are in the process of trying to secure some of the volcanic wood, the poison wood, dark wood, I think, for Trustius to make a bow out of. You ran into some bounty hunters, found out that the Church of Jakuz and the leader of the church, a gentleman named Lord Voth, have put a very sizable bounty on your heads, to the tune of 50 gold each, which is more money than you guys have ever seen, despite all of your adventuring. And it has attracted some fairly high tier talent. The folks that found you were well armed, well equipped, had a druid with them, which you think is how they managed to find you. And your encounter with them did not go well. People got pretty badly beaten. Desi lost an arm, and you guys used the power of one of the elven gems to rewind the clock a little bit. And did much better on the second go round. I think the second go round was actually very one sided.
Ambushes are like that.
Ambushes are like that. You've journeyed towards the volcano and towards the ashlands. Ventured briefly into the lava fields. Found that there were some creatures there that you didn't want any part of. Retreated a bit. Caldy almost died to some leeches. And Ryzen and Desi and Okatai, I believe, followed some scorch marks through the trees to a deeply embedded piece of star metal. Not nearly as big as the one that you already have, but definitely big enough to make like a helm or a weapon or something out of. And I believe that is where we left off. It is going on to the evening, I believe. You guys already have a camp set up and everything, so.
Aldi dying of leeches face first in a small pond would have been the most epic, pathetic death ever.
I appreciate the fact that, like, Death Knight's no problem, demons, yeah, no problem, dragon, well, we'll consider it. Leeches, hell no.
I mean, look at the things that have been the greatest threats to us: beer bandits, leeches. A gator nearly killed me.
The skeleton and the desiccated ant were also a trouble.
The skeletons, the desiccated hands, Desi almost drowned.
Oh yeah, that rock in the pound, one of our greatest enemy of all time.
Yeah, you guys do
True.
you guys do very well against actual threats and less well against things that I'm like, oh, this is going to be a cakewalk.
Less well. That's one way to word it.
We're gonna be like completely invulnerable, and we're gonna drown because of a misstep.
But the day is yours. You do still have the evening. You've already got a camp set up, so you don't have to worry about setting up a camp. So you guys can decide what you would like to do.
Well,
We were kind of trying to keep our sleep in order.
trying.
Yeah.
So it's evening?
Yes, it is.
We should let Caldy sleep.
I think Kobe is unconscious right now because of the leeches. So somebody should try his play to keep the night shift if he cannot do it.
Yeah, I'll stay up.
I can stay up too.
I mean, somebody could actually go to bed.
So yeah, so if Desi and Ryzen are going to keep watch overnight, then they can sleep in the evening easy enough.
Yep. I'll get comfy.
And what would what is Trustius up to in the evening?
I guess I gotta keep watch, right?
All right. And what would Okatai like to do in the evening?
Oh, if Chris just is keeping watch, I'm gonna work on my parchment on my spellbook.
All right. All right. Trustius can give me a scouting roll, and Okatai can give me a lore roll. Oh no, such luck! You're like, oh, you just can't get the words right for this this spell. You're like, scribble, scribble, scribble.
He's just can focus.
You take a look at it, and it looks a lot like a doctor's prescription note. You're like, oh, I'm never going to be able to use this.
Yeah, I need
Trustius,
to be into reading.
Trustius, on the breeze, a long distance away, you can just kind of hear it, depending on which way the breeze blows. But you can hear what sounds like music.
Can I tell what kind of music? Is it drums or singing?
It's like some drums, some you can like faintly hear voices. Occasionally, kind of like the blare of a trumpet.
Like happy music? Or make war music, or can I even tell?
You can't tell.
As long as it's not happy. Can't have happy around here.
I mean, I'm not sure if Trustius could tell the difference, but
Probably not. He has one empathy. Right? So
That's true.
that music is trying to do something to somebody that obviously has a character flaw. I don't have any intention of going to look for that. Unless Argento's back and wants to go take a look.
Argento is back.
Do you want to go take a look? Is that something you do?
I could.
Do you want something in return?
No. No. It's fine.
I do have a question.
Sure.
This fellow that I've animated, the Grave Garden,
Mm-hmm.
can you speak to him? Can you go to the realm of the dead and find him?
Yeah.
So he's in both places.
I'm going to say yes. Like, if he's dead, then he's definitely where I can go talk to him. And then if he's not dead, but not alive, then that's not really something I know about.
Okay,
Like,
that's very helpful.
did you pull his soul back, or is it just like remnants?
A little bit of both, I think.
Oh.
I was just curious if he was half here and half somewhere else.
I don't think many people are happy you're dead.
Not happy. I was just curious if he was half here or half
Oh.
somewhere else.
Oh.
Or if he was all here and just upset that he's dead.
Don't know.
He could be in hell, I suppose.
Could be. I don't pay any attention as to what's going on around me when I go talk to people.
So sending you to scout to see the music is. Could you pay attention when you did that?
Oh, yes.
Oh. All right. Try not to die. I don't think I could bring you back from the dead.
Okay. And then there's like a flutter of wings and he flies off.
That wasn't very helpful at all.
You know, there's some cursing coming from Okatai. Snoring coming from your other three people. But the rest of the evening is peaceful. You know, nighttime rolls around. Desi and Ryzen, you guys both wake up. You can each hit your rest button.
I thought I was staying up to guard. I was fine.
Oh, I thought you and Desi were staying up in the night.
Oh yeah. That's fine. I wasn't sure when I was staying up, so this is still just okay. Yeah, that's fine.
Yep. Towards the end of the evening, Argento will come back. It's not that far. It's like there's like some soldiers, and there's some guys with some really bright costumes and some musical instruments, and they're like putting on a play. The guys at the colorful costume, not the soldiers. Soldiers are watching the play.
How many soldiers was there?
Oh, some.
Can you count?
More than two.
Can you count higher than 2?
Never really needed to.
3. 3 is what comes after 2.
Then there were definitely 3.
They're watching a play.
Mm-hmm.
Did anyone die?
In the play?
In general.
Yeah, I'm sure somebody did somewhere. But not there. The world's a big place. People die all the time.
So I've noticed. Thank you, Argento.
You're welcome.
I'm going to bed.
Okay. And Desi and Ryzen, you guys can both give me scouting rolls.
Oh, for overnight?
For the overnight. So as you guys are kind of keeping watch and as the quiet of night settles on, both of you can also faintly hear the music, kind of carried on the wind. Ryzen, you recognize it. Like these are kind of like traditional minstrel songs that you're hearing. And they go on, probably like 2 o'clock in the morning before they finally start to quiet down.
party people somewhere.
I wonder if there's more people looking for us in that bounty.
Maybe.
All that was missing from there is like an alcohol jug, so you can have an official hoedown.
Desi just kind of looks at him. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know what kind of entertainment people like on this island. You know, they could be people of simple taste. You know, like a hootenanny.
Sure. How far away do you think they are?
I don't know, Chris. Can I do a guesstimate on that?
Far enough away that you're only hearing it as the wind and the breeze carries the sound to you. So probably an hour or so, maybe.
Oh, not super close. Probably at least 45 minutes to an hour away. Maybe less if they're like forced marching.
Yeah, I don't think we need to do any forced march.
No, not at this point. We just gotta keep our heads on a swivel when we're moving during the day, especially if we end up going towards them. I don't know what direction we're currently. Chris, what direction are they relative to?
They would be east of you.
Okay, and we're probably gonna go back west, I guess, towards the volcano. Probably. Okay.
Probably.
Yeah, so then we should be fine as long as we don't go in that general direction. Unless we go there just to do a little bit of reconnaissance if we haven't been that way yet.
You said they sounded like they were to the east?
Yeah. So they sound like they were in the east and the volcano is to the west. I think if we go east to do some exploring, it's virgin territory for us, but we could just dip a little pinky toe in and then leave. Might be an interesting experience, but then we can get the hell out of there.
Maybe.
But like I said, around like 2 o'clock or so, the music finally like kind of simmers down, and then you guys are just left alone with the quiet of the woods.
Are we
Morning.
hearing any nocturnal animals?
Nothing out of the usual. I mean, the hoot of an owl here and there. You know, some like nighttime scavengers off in the woods, but nothing that you don't expect. Morning arrives. Everybody, Trustius and Okatai can both hit their rest button. Everybody can roll for their food and their water. And everybody, you guys can decide what you would like to do in the morning.
Horizon and I should sleep.
Well, you guys slept during the evening, so you're good.
Oh yeah, that's true too. Never mind. You want to tell them about the direction you think it's coming from?
Sure. I don't know if First Watch heard this, but it sounded like there was a bit of a party going on to the east of us in virgin territory that I don't think we've explored yet. They're probably at least a mile away from us if they're still there. Looked like they were having a big raucous hoot nanny. All that was missing was like a jug instrument, go. "Boom, boom, boom, boom."
A
And
play.
I do a little. What's that?
A play.
A play. Oh, you heard it too?
Argento went to look.
Oh, okay.
Did you notice if any of them were ghosts?
If any of them were what?
I mean, remember last time the wedding in the middle of the wood?
Vaguely.
Turns out they were all ghosts.
Oh, yes.
Hey, I wonder if those two guys that we saw that wanted to join us or whatever were part of that troop.
You guys wanted to check it out or speak with those people, or
I don't see any reason to.
We have no idea if they could possibly be more bounty hunters.
ever met bounty hunters that travel with a theater kids? But I mean, we could trade with them, but again, not necessary. It's a risk to take by interacting with them, but you never know what we can find.
Did Argenta say how many he saw?
He could only count to two. So, more than two. I don't believe we're looking for more people.
The only reason I see is trying to look at trading.
What is it that you need?
We just have been surprised by what people add from time to time. But like I said, it's risky and it's not necessary. It's like the only reason I could see is to check whenever they could have to trade or to teach.
I have no interest in finding these people. If you want to go, I'll go with you, but it seems to be a waste of time.
Oh, our next order of business is trying to raid the other part of the volcanic plains, try to find some wood.
I will need a weapon, yes.
Wood is good. Would you be able to use that wood to make arrows?
Yes.
Nice.
I'd like to try to grab a bit more to try to make spear chip.
Yeah, all the wood we can get would be good. That was way too much
Would
rhyming.
are the theater troops between us and the other side of the volcanic plain? Because if they're
No,
on the
they're to
way,
the
we can.
east.
Okay.
So which direction are you guys headed?
The last time we went northwest, I think we want to go northeast on the other side of the fire plane, hopefully where there's less lava goblin. Even if I'm curious of theater people, I see the point that it's not necessary.
All right.
If we go, sorry, we're going west this time, right?
We went west last time, so we would go east this time, northeast,
Well, you guys went southwest last time. Into
southwest, so we would go southeast
yeah.
just to try to grab a bit of the wood in the volcano park. In the place where we oak, there's no gold.
So yeah, you guys.
Otherwise, the other option is going closer to the volcano, but at some point we might have to fight the local fauna.
So yeah, so you guys can pack up your camp and head southeast. This is a way that you've gone before. You kind of like follow the edge of the forest along the ashlands, wait looking for the kind of like darker trees that you need. So I don't need to lead the way. Somebody may want to do some scouting though.
That's definitely Okatai, right?
Yep.
Is it to lead the way?
No,
Yep.
I don't need lead the way. I just need scouting.
Okay.
Scouting is definitely not my strong suit, so.
Interesting. So yeah, so as you guys make your way, kind of following the ashlands, you do find a small patch of wood that is, despite being this close to the ashlands, covered in frost. The trees are a very dark shade of green.
What do you make of that, Okatai?
Oh, did you say there's frost?
Yes,
Mhm.
a small wooded area where the trees have frost on them, and they're very dark, very like a very deep green.
That's interesting. We saw a tree at one point that lowered the temperature around it. It might be one of those.
It very much is.
I remember as it had a bit of propriety. Not sure how to say it in English. Property.
Cold wood, then.
Yeah. Just it's bad luck to kill the tree. If we take some, we should be careful. Just taking what we need.
But yeah, you guys can make lore rolls.
I remember the last one I did a little bit, but I did a roll.
Well, look at you guys.
I'm not sure why I'm down one wits.
I don't know either.
Oh, I am not pushing that.
So Desi and Tresius and Ryzen, these are they're trees called dire glooms. known by many people as cold pines, believed to basically hold the souls of people who died unhappy in love.
Sorry, they were called what pines?
Cold pines.
Thank you.
But Ryzen, with two successes, the whole like holding the souls of the dead, that's superstition. They're actually trees that basically have the ability to lower their temperature, which causes condensation and thus keeps them watered. There's usually like a freshwater lake kind of at the center of of the little group of trees, like an underwater lake.
All right, can you tell me the myth again? The souls of people who what? Died, lost love or something?
Died unhappy in love.
Sorry, unhappy in love?
Yep.
These trees are weird. Apparently, they can somehow lower their temperature to cause condensation. And there might be a lake under these trees, maybe deep underground. And then there's some, mystical mumbo jumbo that I'm sure is totally not true about the souls of people who died unhappily in love being linked to these things. But I'm sure that's just a myth.
For my people, it's just bad luck to cut these down. Probably because wherever they are, they bring water, and water is
Uh-huh.
precious.
Maybe.
So they might have some property we can try to work with, but I gather some wood without killing the trees. But we can also check for the water. Uh, I'm not in dire need of water, but use a bit more water.
Is the water supposed to be special? Or
No, it's
just
just very clean and pure. Just good water.
Yeah, I don't think it's special. I think it's just there's a source of water where you might not expect one given where we are.
Like when you roam and you see the cold pines, you're gonna find some water. And that also gives us a place to reprieve from the heat of the volcano. If we go make some expedition, gather some wood, we could make a camp here. Keep us from the heat of the volcano till we have enough wood.
yeah. Might be nice to run back to.
Yeah, gives us a safe spot. Is it
Perhaps the
in the
wood will
volcano?
stay cold.
Yeah.
Well, let's see if we can cut a tree without killing it and risking the wrath of Wolfkin bad luck.
We only need a couple of shafts for bows and things like that, so I can cut off some sides to young shoots that will not survive under the canopy of the other. Give us a couple of good sticks and shaft for arrows, bows, and maybe spears.
More is better.
So I guess the important question is, how many axes do you guys have?
I got one wood axe, and Dizzy has the not so wood axe, more of a limb axe. If axe take the name of what they do. some point, maybe we should grab another axe if we're going to gather wood.
So yes, whoever would like to chop down trees and has an axe can make either a survival or a crafting roll.
Oh, look,
Can
two
go with
things I'm not
survival.
good at.
I'll take that one. Are we inside the volcano area?
No, you're on the edge of it.
Okay, that still make a good rally point.
What does
enough.
crafting fall under?
Strength.
Strength.
Oh, there it is. I'll try. Sure. I'll try with crafting. Do I get any bonuses for being an axe fighter?
No, because you're not fighting the trees.
Yeah.
I mean, I could yet. Yeah, that's really kind of the kicker there.
I'm gonna try to guide Desi in that case. She doesn't kill the tree.
So I'm not trying to fight the tree?
Yeah.
Oh, you guided me too well. Now I'm afraid of damaging it. I don't want it to hit me back.
So some of the trees have come to life.
Not yet.
Oh, if you just cut that branch and that side trunk, should be fine.
Okatai can give me either crafting or survival, assuming he's chopping down trees too.
Sorry, why are we chopping down trees?
Looking for special wood to make weapons out of. Right. So it does take most of the afternoon. Desi's not having any success at all. Like everything that she chops is either like splintered all to hell or shatters because it's frozen. Not having any luck at all. But Okatai does get 4 units of cold wood, which does retain its cold after it's been harvested.
Ooh.
That's interesting. I think I heard about some druids that use cold magic. I've never met any of them, but
While they're chopping down trees, what are Okata or Ryzen and Trustius doing? Because it does take a quarter day to harvest the trees.
I'm keeping watch in case any of the other trees come to life because we're pissing them off or some other nasty surprises.
It's a good plan.
It's fair.
And what would Trustius like to do?
I kind of like to go eat some trees. not those particular trees, but trees nearby.
So Trustius is going off by himself to do a ritual?
I mean, the range of that is just near, right? So
Yep.
I don't have to be that far.
Yeah.
I could stay within sight.
You can say within sight, yeah. Just, yeah, I mean, this has never gone poorly in the past, so.
No, I mean,
Never.
there might be a soul in one of these trees. It's worth checking.
yeah, check for ants before the winged thing.
The easiest way to check for souls is to eat them.
If it's edible.
Ryzen can give me a scouting roll, and Trustius can give me a magic roll.
Yeah, it didn't blow up.
He did not blow up. Right, so yeah, so Trustius is off doing his mumbo jumbo, and Okatai and Desi are off felling trees or trying to at the very
Or
least,
not.
or not. And Ryzen, you're kind of just kind of find like a central position where you can keep an eye on everybody, make sure the trees don't come to life or anything of that nature. And almost before you can react, before you really notice, this kind of like bedraggled looking halfling wearing like torn and dirty but still somewhat colorful clothing kind of like bursts out of the underbrush, kind of like looks around. It's like kind of sees you, gives you a little nod and says like, do you want to make some money?
Who the fuck are you? And maybe.
Find my thing.
That depends on who the fuck you are and for what.
My name's Potus. Perhaps you've heard of me. And he kind of like gives a little bow.
Have I heard of him?
No.
I regret to inform you, Potus, that I do not know who you are and I have never heard of you.
Oh,
So who the fuck are you?
I'm part of a traveling group of players and actors and minstrels and songwriters and singers. And as he's talking, he's just like his eyes are kind of like darting around, like watching.
Hey, were you part of that play or whatever that I could hear last night at a distance?
Yes. So, did you like it? No,
I
It's
could
a-
barely make it out. I just heard music. It sounded like a traditional minstrel songs. I was saying for a hootenanny, you were missing like one of those jugs to blow on.
Good notes, thank you. Do you want to make... Okay, perhaps I spoke hastily. I don't have money exactly.
You just asked me if I wanted to make money.
But that's not to say I can't pay.
I don't know what kind of halfling you think I am, but I'm the kind of halfling that likes to be paid in valuables.
My left shoe is extremely valuable.
I look at his shoe,
Right?
clutching my hammer tight.
I assume he doesn't have a right shoe, he just have a left one.
He only has a left shoe. He's got like a left shoe that looks like a very kind of like very well made leather shoe, and then he's got like a very raggedy looking right shoe. The pair do not match.
I recently
So I can give you my left shoe if you're willing to help a fellow out.
What do you want?
Okay. Well, it seems me and my troop,
the
Yeah.
unex
we're hoping to make some coin, and we're performing for some soldiers. And unfortunately, the soldiers are a bit of a religious bent, and they did not take kind to our satire. So they decided that we would have to come up with something new under much duress. They locked us into cages. I managed to escape. If you can rescue the rest of my people, I'll give you my left boot. Which I realize does not sound like a great deal. I realize that now, hearing it out loud.
It does not.
What if I told you my left boot was magic?
There's the magic that it keeps your foot warm and dry.
No. Oh, okay. Watch this. And he kind of like... It takes him a great deal of effort, but he like climbs up one of the trees but then he like walks up to the middle of the branch, which is only like maybe 2 inches in diameter, and balances perfectly on his left foot.
That is great, other than the fact that I don't know how useful that would be for actually doing anything.
Well, I
But a
mean,
great party trick.
well, it lets you keep your balance on anything. Like you can like walk across a tightrope. You can, you know,
You know what would help the selling point on this? A second boot that actually works.
this one works.
I'm saying having a pair.
I don't know if they come in pairs.
What?
No, like I found this left boot, and then when I put it on, this other right boot just magically appeared on my foot. So I guess technically that does mean the other boot magical too, but it doesn't seem to do anything.
Can I do an insight or something to see if this guy is shitting me on any of this?
Yes, you can. He definitely seems desperate, but he does not seem deceitful.
Okay, POTUS, how many of these guys are keeping your troop in prison?
There was like 3 soldiers and the colonel. So like 4 altogether.
Well, I'm not one to do anything rash on my own, especially on this godforsaken rock, so I'm going to talk to my people. Were you just hiding under these freaking creepy trees?
No, I was on the run, but I figure if they find me now, they'll find both of us, and then you've got an interest in fighting them. I think I lost them though.
Okay. All right, well, you sit tight, and I'll go talk to my people and see if they're willing to do this.
Okay.
And I go and I look for somebody to talk to while Dizzy and Okatai are deforesting a forest. Oh, who am I
That'd be
kidding? Trestus
Trustius,
is probably, yeah, I was
who's
going to say, Trestus is probably
deforesting a forest
deforesting
as
too.
well.
Wow, great. Well, the important thing is at least
The
no trees are
forest
coming to life.
escape.
All right, I'm going to wait for a lull in the Dizzy and Okatai, hi ho, it's off the chop we go.
You got something, Reggie?
Yeah, so I just got a bit of a surprise. You remember the performance that Argento was spying on last night?
Oh yeah,
So apparently
the
that did
theater
not
thing.
go very well for the performers. So all but one of them has been imprisoned by the soldiers, and this halfling guy with a magical one boot escaped, and he's looking for help. He is offering his magical left boot, in saying that there's 3 soldiers and a colonel, as far as he is aware.
Oh my gosh! And you know why they took the artist prisoner?
Yes, because apparently the soldiers did not like some of the risque religious material and decided to lock them up to make them think about it and give them time to come up with a new routine.
Okay. Oh, I guess the question is, what religion are they following? Will
Didn't ask.
inform my answer. Oh, I'll ask him. But I don't mind rescuing a few artists. We can
His
probably
name is
intimidate
POTUS.
those people. Oh God. Okay. POTUS it is.
He's a tremendous half.
The best one. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
His
Depending on
magical
what he
left
has.
boot is his magical left boot is interesting. Apparently, you can balance on almost any prop, like vertical, horizontal, whichever one is the correct term. No matter how small or thin, like he showed me balancing on one foot on the smallest of branches. And he claims that the other boot just magically appears as a piece of garbage rag, so it's only one, which sounds like a strange magic item. He's offering up that right now. He originally offered gold and then realized he didn't have gold.
Wow. Okay. I mean, because if those people are Jakku's people, we might want to do this no matter what.
Yeah, I don't
Those
think he's
people are.
me.
Sorry, Reggie.
Like he's frazzled a bit, but I don't think he's lying to me.
Okay. Trust you
A
on those.
magic left boot.
Yeah, just the one boot. He claims that when you put on the left boot, a disheveled, raggedy right boot automatically appears, but only the left boot's useful for weird feats of balance and stuff.
Wouldn't be
And
the weirdest thing was to.
was he wearing the boot when he made that claim?
Yes, he was, and I saw him run up the tree and balance on the smallest of branches on his one foot.
And if he took the boot off, did his right boot disappear?
And I don't recall him actually taking it off. But he says that the right one automatically appears as this crappy old raggedy boot.
I mean, I think the part where he balances the more important part. The fact that it make another
Uh,
less boot appear or not is
yeah.
not truthful. If that part is false, it won't make me sad. The other part is false. Less truthful.
Well, I'm
So
thinking about it.
So, and he claims there's 3 soldiers and a colonel. That seems kind of small to me, but
Let's go speak with him. But what religious reference he insulted that might guide us as to if those people are people we want to mess with or not.
okay, that works.
That's my only uh, prerogative. If they play the Blue Flame or the Jakkus or the Night Brother or something, might change my perspective. Where is he hidden now?
I just left him outside the camp. He kind of burst out from the underbrush amongst all these trees. I think he was hiding. He was hiding pretty well, too.
Huh.
So I go looking for POTUS.
Yep.
POTUS, you tremendous halfling, where the fuck are you?
I'm just here by your fire. So, oh,
Hello, sir.
I only have one boot. I can't pay all of you.
I mean, you're probably gonna need the help of more than one person, even if probably prison can kneecap all of them.
Tell you what,
A
I
brave
think
and
we should just claim the
potent
spoils
fighter.
of the camp if we agree to do this.
Yeah. Those guys. You said you insulted their religion or something?
Yeah, well, religious folks get funny about things.
Do you happen to catch what religion those people were worshipping?
Well, I'm assuming one of the gods that we made fun of.
Which ones did you make fun of?
It's probably easier to answer which ones we didn't make fun of.
Do you remember the moment where they got mad?
Not really. At one point, they started yelling "blasphemer," and that's when things took a turn.
Yeah. Because depending on what god they worship, it might already be he might already have trouble with those.
We're kind of like equal opportunity offenders. Usually,
Yeah, I
I
people,
like
respect
to cut
that.
your jib.
usually people, that realize that we're not making fun of any particular religion, just kind of all of them. But these guys, I mean, we were just hoping that we could entertain them for the evening, and they would throw some coin our way, and you know. Now my fellow players are all locked up in a cage and probably being tortured. I mean, that's not really
Do
any
you
of your concern.
do you make any joke about Jakuz?
I'm not really sure who that is, but if it's a god, we'll make a joke about it. I mean, maybe we'll rethink our stance on religious material after this.
I'm asking probably not somebody you know, but if that would have been specifically in your routine, that might have been a part. Those people worship demons and are not great.
I whisper an aside, but in truth, he never would. He never would stop insulting religions.
Probably no. I mean, people pay for that. But if you're willing to help, if you're willing to rescue my friends, uh, you guys can fight over the boot, I guess.
I think we can share of the spoil.
Hey, does the boot like contour itself around the user regardless of like their size, or is this like halfling size specific?
It fits me good, but I don't think the previous owner was necessarily a halfling.
I haven't been lucky with boots ever in my life, but
I mean, I'm willing to. I mean, if it makes another boot so that you're not walking around with just one, I assume it would, you know, fit whoever put it on. I don't know. Never really been an issue.
I'm just well, the boot is a thing, but mostly not a big fan of religious fanatics.
Me neither.
What do you think, Desi?
Not a big fan of religion in general.
They didn't do us very good so far.
Not really, no.
Excellent.
There's a
Not a
chance
big
out of
fan
two
of
that
soldiers either.
So we're all in agreement then that my friend should be rescued from these religious people.
I didn't say that.
But you thought it.
I'm working on your side. I'm working on your side for this. I'm trying to see if I can convince the people.
I mean, you don't even have to kill anybody. You can just like sneak in, rescue my friends.
Or Tresius could just tell all those people to just let them go. Should shit themselves.
Maybe.
He's getting pretty good at the scolding face. And if there's like four of them and we get there and there's five of us, we can just encourage them to drop it, let the artist go.
Sure.
If he happens to be unfriendly, well, we got a bit more. I don't want to go murdering anybody who doesn't deserve it, but
Well, let's convince them to let this troop go, and then we won't have to murder them.
That's my plan. There's enough of us, less of them, and look at that face. Just dress his face. Pretty sure you can intimidate them to just drop it. You can go the Drescher's way or the Desi way. You can let them choose. Somehow those two don't sound good.
Let's try not to die over a
Yeah.
boot.
I don't think we care about the boot. It's more the people.
It could be Lord Boss people. And if that's the case, they need to die.
When did I start caring about people? What is happening?
When you joined us and you stuck around and didn't abandon, that's when you started to care. Or when you started taking money to be Caldy's bodyguard.
Yeah.
Hmm,
At
doesn't
some point,
sound.
Risen
Neither
Art.
of those sounds right.
You developed feelings. Ew.
It happened to you too, Risen. At some point, I heard you about your hardcore two size.
Shut up. Shut up.
We're gonna imagine your feeling and talk about our emotion, kill a few people so we feel better.
Otis, let's get the fuck out of here before we start getting into a big love fest here.
For your
tremendous.
buddy are
Confusing
talking.
every day.
You tremendous halfling, you.
Yeah, most of us grow emotion, and that's just losing some. But we all get more confused as every day passes. You already
Let's go
beat
see
it.
what we're up against.
Yep.
Right. So POTUS can kind of lead you back the way he came. They're not terribly far from you. It looks like, basically judging from the distance and the direction, this would be where various people heard the sounds coming from last night.
So are we in a new hex?
No, it's not actually a new hex. Kind of skirts around the new hex. But true to his word, there are like 4 individuals, and there's basically a little cage with a bunch of brightly dressed individuals in it.
Sorry, 4 individuals. You mean the soldiers and the colonel, or you mean the troop?
There's 4 people in the cage, and then there's 3 guards and somebody with like slightly fancier armor. All of them are wearing chainmail. All of them have swords. None of them have any weapons drawn currently. The one over by the cage seems to be berating people, saying like, you know, you will stay here until you write a proper apology that when you perform we feel is adequate. They do not seem to notice your approach.
How do we want to do this?
The great confusion.
Do we go for discretion or do we go for intimidation?
I mean, Caldy's really the only one who's good at sneaking around.
I mean, we're more than them. We could just tell them to drop it.
We could. I don't know if they're gonna.
Yeah.
I'll ask them
We go
nicely.
with see if intimidation work, and if it doesn't, well, because
We could
if we sneak,
try nice to start and then get snarly if it doesn't.
Yeah.
I'm not good at nice though, so maybe I should just, wait.
Risen, do you feel like nice, or do we just go straight to justice?
We already know how this is going to end, so why even bother with the pleasantry?
Well, intimidation it is,
You
because we
can't
don't have
you
anybody.
can't rationally like change a zealot if these guys are zealots, and it's not like we super outnumber them, so they're probably just going to be idiots and you know give us some language, try to berate us and scare us off. So
Let's leave justice to try convincing them with threats, and if it doesn't work, we'll be ready.
All right.
Not a-
Trustius will stride forward with his graveguard flanking him.
All right. As you do, the soldiers do kind of turn their attention towards you. Stay right where you are.
I am Trustius, the sorcerer. You are a human. Mortal, weak. You can run, or you can die. You have 3 seconds to comply.
I love Trustius right now. That
Are we
willpower is
close
totally
enough
high
to
right
hear
now.
this?
I have to insult him to get the extra die.
If we're close enough to hear this, Desi is gonna start giggling. She's gonna try to smother it with her hand, but honestly, what the fuck, dude?
Wait till you see how many dice he's gonna roll.
All right.
You'll not be giggling.
You can go ahead and give me a manipulation roll.
For me, that's might. With threatening 3. And then I get +2 dice.
Your
And 2
threatening is
artifact
higher
dice.
than
And what's his rep?
mine. Artifact dice? What the hell?
Since you have to manipulate the leader, he has a rep of 3.
I have 10, so that's 7 more dice.
Yep.
I was going to ask, at what point does all this reputation come into play?
Oh
He
my
could
god.
still choose to attack if he wants to.
Right. So the leader will kind of step forward and say, "We'll leave in exchange for a donation to the cause."
Threatening means he doesn't get to ask for something in exchange.
Ooh.
And he also has to do the contested, and he takes 1 point of empathy for every dice I beat him.
What are you using?
Threatening 3.
Holy hell. I've only got threatening 2, so.
And
I
I'm
don't
using,
care.
what is it, Sharp Tongue, or, yeah, Sharp Tongue.
Um,
Sharp Tongue, opposed roll. You can inflict 1 point of empathy damage, 1 point of damage to empathy on your opponent per extra 1 success.
Oh, it's
nice.
0 successes.
So I believe he takes the damage, but the group could still attack. They're allowed to.
Yep.
Right.
Well, I mean, empathy just basically means he has no choice. He basically snaps like a psycho.
Well, he could run. Or I could fight. That's up to him. I think is how it works.
First time doing any real social stuff.
Could be the first threat. Yeah.
I don't remember ever using it. I think I got it as a just in case, and then just never
You
did.
use it. You use once. Same as your headbutt.
Maybe. Might
It
have
was the
used it
same day.
once.
So
Why do I remember those?
broken in empathy, breakdown in despair, or self-pity must either explode in a violent outburst or withdraw from everyone around you.
Uh-oh.
So yeah, I think he's probably going to explode in a vicious outburst. That makes sense.
That tracks. Yeah. Enjoy your trauma though.
There's no trauma. It's
It goes with the,
wits and strength do damage.
Oh, it's wits. I thought it was empathy.
No.
but if we fear people, I think they get empathy damage. Wits damage. I don't know how that works.
Yeah, like fear attacks are wits damage. Give me 1 sec here.
That was a lot of dice though.
That was a lot of dice. Trying to figure out why it's not adding everybody to the combat tracker.
Oh, it didn't roll the artifact dice either. I don't think it mattered.
I don't think it did. There we go. Okatai, would you like card 7 or card 9?
I'll go with 7. That's why I need another. 3 points.
Ryzen, would you like card number 1 or card number 7?
That's a tough one, but I'm gonna go with 1.
Right. So Ryzen, you were up first. As this guy just basically loses his shit on Drustius.
All right, I go up to him with the hammer and I just hammer him. It's hammer time, bitch.
Alrighty.
Did they have any religious symbol like?
They do have like something emblazoned on their shields.
Are they human?
They are human.
So I don't get any Dragon Slayer. Okay.
He is psycho, so he is not going to dodge. That will shatter his armor.
Oh yeah, that's a great hammer.
Oh, God.
4 becomes 3, goes up to 4 because of Hammer Fighter. That is enough to drop him. Does Resin have any levels of Executioner?
No, I debated buying it, but I have not.
Ooh, right in the groin.
That sounds like Ryzen.
I think Risen could take the executioner just so he can crit our always going with.
Just always.
Right. That guy is going to nope out. The boss doesn't get to do anything. That'll take us to Desi. So yeah, so Trustius threatened him. The leader's like, "What the hell? What did you say?" And then Ryzen just like winds up and charges and hits him in the groin. And you're pretty sure he hit him in the groin so hard he knocked teeth out.
Oh,
He hit him. It hit him so hard
oh.
in the groin, his armor shattered. His whole armor shattered from poison.
Yes, and his chainmail shattered.
Oh,
Yeah, you didn't need that groin.
that looks like it hurt.
And the guy that was kind of farthest back from everything is just like, nope, and like, zoop, off exit stage left.
So there's who's left?
There's two.
Terrified and Mengenendorm?
Mengenadorm was the colonel. There's the terrified one
Oh,
and the thoughtful
was.
one.
The thoughtful one ran.
No, the mischievous one ran.
Oh,
The thoughtful one and the terrified one are just waiting their turn so they can run.
so if I move, if I move into the zone, where the am I? There I am. If I move into the zone, can I then use melee charge?
Yes.
Because I never remember that.
So yes, this other guy who was standing beside his boss,
Yeah,
just
that's
watches
what I'm gonna do.
his boss get crumbled. He's like starting to turn so he can run, and then Desi like, full on like runs across.
Yep. Just runs out of the woods. And melee charges the terrified guy.
So sorry, she intercepted the guy who was fleeing, or she intercepted a different guy who was trying to flee?
A guy who was trying to flee. The guy that did flee was way at the back and was like, "Nope, I'm gone."
Could I make it to the thoughtful one?
The thoughtful one, yes. Him and the terrified one are both in the same zone. So.
Well, I will go after the thoughtful one then. And I will use my axe.
Okay.
Since it's there and I'm there, he's here. And
He is not psychotic, so he is going to try to parry with his shield. Not well at all. That's going to be 4 damage. Oof. So he parries 1, and then his armor takes 3, so he only takes 1 point of damage.
I would like.
I mean, you're still going to get to roll a crit on him regardless because of Axe Fighter.
Yeah.
Just a question of whether it's broken or not.
Okay, I'll roll the crit first. So it's which die?
It's a table.
Oh.
Does Desi have any Executioner?
Yes, she does.
How many levels?
Let me find it. Just the one.
Okay, so you get to roll twice and take the highest.
So it's 2d6s?
It's a D66. It's weird.
Okay. R slash.
No, R or slash R space D66 actually won't do it because it'll generate a bunch of numbers that don't exist.
What am I?
Like I said, it's a chart. It's a macro to hit that I don't have on your character sheet. But you can chop off his ear or you can wound his shoulder.
I would like to wound his shoulder.
So he cannot use two-handed weapons.
And then was it Path of the Blade that lets me attack again?
Yep.
Yes. This has a blade on it. I would like to attack him again.
Okay.
Not as nasty, but
He would like to. He would like to parry, but he needs to run. He's gonna trust in his armor. Ooh, his armor stops 2. Oh, things are not looking good for him.
do I get another roll on execution?
Yes, you do. Ooh, a severed tendon. Or a severed arm.
I will sever his arm because
Oh.
I know how nasty that is.
Oh. Despite his arm being chopped off, he is still standing. He's like the Black Knight.
From experience, he won't be for long.
Oh.
At least that was my experience.
That will take us to the Graveguard.
Well, there's a guy in front of him, right?
Yeah, there was. He was hoping to run.
Tis but a scratch.
The Justice doesn't lie.
You did warn him that he would die, didn't you?
I did.
I believe it was, you can run or you can die.
He hasn't run yet.
And he- Yep.
Oh, he blocks some of that with his shield, so that's only going to be 3 points of damage. Ooh, his armor holds. He
Whoa.
might get to live.
That's it for the Graveyard. He doesn't, like,
Not
a bunch of his talents, he doesn't have willpower, so he can't field them, right? So,
Yeah. Alright, that'll be... Ooh, the thoughtful guy. He is going to try to run from Desi.
good luck.
I mean, his arm's there on the ground and he leaves a big trail of blood. And he will die eventually from blood loss, but he is running. That will take us to Okatai.
I'd like to make a lore check to try to identify their god.
Yes, absolutely.
Depend on what I see. I'm on the
Unfortunately,
tablet, so I don't know what I rolled.
2 Banes, no successes.
Oh gosh. That's a lot to push.
Damage to wits and still no successes.
Yep, I just don't know. I'm just gonna look at the one left and tell him you really should run.
I'm trying. I'm trying.
You shouldn't
Yeah.
laugh at that poor guy.
I mean, he is terrified.
He should be.
That will take us to Trustius.
I'll switch to
Rightfully
the terrified guy. Let him run. He only told the leader that he was going to kill him. So I figured the graveyard wouldn't know any different. So
He is going to run.
Is this the one whose arm was cut off?
No, that guy is also running. So yes, so they are running. Mischievous guy makes more distance. That will take us to Ryzen. The colonel's like rolling around on the ground, kind of holding his groin. The other three have run off. One of whom is missing his arm.
I don't move very fast. I'm a plump halfling, so I'm just going to go over and give this guy a cheap shot kick in the nuts to make sure he stays down.
Okay. That the boss can't do nothing. Desi.
Well. Let me see where they are. The thoughtful one is the one who has his shoulder injured.
The thoughtful one is the guy with the injured shoulder and the missing arm.
Yes, and the terrified one is fine.
Well, I mean, he's scared out of his wits and running for his dear life, but other than that, he's fine.
For now? Okay. I'm pretty confident that Okatai will be able to track Mr. Severed Arm. So, Desi is going to use move and then melee charge against the terrified one.
Oh God, no!
Yeah, I got a sample. I got a sample of his smell. I got his arm.
And he's leaving a really clear trail.
Yep.
Yeah, so, and again, with the axe.
Well, he'll try to parry. Oh, he parries 2. That's only going to be 2 points of damage.
Okay.
Which his armor absorbs. Haha!
Well, let's see how it does against the second round. Spending another willpower for another swing.
If he parries, he can't keep running. Trust in his armor. No, he's going to take 2 damage.
And the crit.
Ooh, a severed toe or ruptured intestines.
Ruptured. Ruptured for sure.
Ooh, it's a disease of the virulence of 6 and he will die in a couple of hours. Alright. That'll take us to the Graveguard.
Tony's AFK. I don't know if it attacks on its own.
Probably not. The thoughtful guy is going to run.
Oh, he's back.
What would the Graveguard like to do, Tony?
Justice isn't under any danger, so he's just going to stay here.
Alright. That will take us to Okatai. The guy with the missing arm runs into the forest and leans against a tree pretty heavily, stumbles a few more feet, and then drops.
We see pretty much in disarray. I'm gonna start looking for the prison.
They are right here in the cage.
I'm gonna go over there.
Right.
You might be terrified right now, but this is the rescue.
The terrified guy is going to try to run from Desi.
That's a reasonable thing to do.
He's going to run off into the woods. That will take us to Trustius.
Yeah, let it run. It's fine.
Right. So unless you guys hunt them down, the guy with the missing arm is dead over there. The mischievous guy is long gone, and the terrified guy will eventually succumb to his, bowels emptying into his chest cavity. So I think we can.
If we killed them all, we wouldn't get more rep.
I don't need more rep. I don't
never
really.
quite-
That sounds like a miserable way to die.
Never could quite catch what God is raging.
Let's have a look.
So there's
Try to
these,
understand this.
these like
Broke my
four,
mind.
four minstrels, and like POTUS walks out of the woods. He's like, "Oh my god!" I thought maybe there would be,
Yeah.
I don't know, more sneaking involved, and less. I thought there'd be less
Yeah,
blood.
Blood.
We're not very
we're still
sneaky.
still working on being sneaky, but hard.
You're working on being sneaky.
I
Yeah,
don't think we've
yeah.
ever worked on.
I'm just working on kicking the crap out of things.
Well,
I mean, you can either be sneaky or be intimidating enough people that they haven't seen you. Both
I'm already
works.
handsome and charming and stuff, so that's why I figured I'd branch out and try to be an ass kicker.
Oh, it's been working.
I mean, a deal's a deal, and he like basically peels off his leather boot and holds it out to Ryzen.
I'll take.
I think this guy kids are going to be born with bruises.
With what?
I don't think he's having kids.
Bruises. I mean, with the hit he got to the schnitzel, I think his kid.
Oh, the Colonel. I thought you were talking about POTUS. I'm like, what?
No, the Colonel. I think his kid's gonna be born with like already a hammer mark on his face.
Maybe he was fortunate and he already had the.
Maybe.
That it was strong enough. And even if you already had the kid, they're bruised.
Well, I assure you that we'll
That's for you.
when we write our next epic, we'll be sure to include this. This. We may have to tone it down some for more.
For the kids.
Yes, for the
You
kids.
got to come up you got to come up with another version just for the adults.
This
Yeah.
is my rent.
Just make sure you don't slender Tresius so he doesn't have to find you and you
Well,
can be.
I already know his name. I wouldn't have to find it.
thank you so much. I
Let me-
honestly, that's so much blood.
Is that a cage? Where they just chain?
Yeah, and no, it's a cage, but POTUS will like take the key off of the Colonel and open it up. It's like, okay, come on, guys, we're good to go.
I'm going to search the Colonel for anything possibly useful.
He had a set of chainmail. He doesn't
Yeah,
anymore.
that's gone.
He does have he's got a broadsword. He's got a shield. And he has what looks like some sort of metallic holy symbol on a chain around his neck.
Oh, can I do a lore or something to see what god it is?
You sure can.
I've
Okay,
been trying to remember. It just looks like a blob to me.
So yes, Trestius and Ryzen. This symbol is the symbol of the Congregation of the Serpent.
what's that?
They are basically one of two major human religions, one of three major human religions. The primary human religions are the worm, the raven, and rust, or Jakuz.
Yeah, I know rust is a bad sign.
Yeah.
Much about the other.
So which one does this one tie to then? The worm?
The worm. The church, the worm church is called the Congregation of the Serpent.
Are they usually chill, or what kind of religion is it? Human
Uh,
sacrifice, or
I mean,
the body of Christ?
the important thing about the general Forbidden Lands thing is there's no really good gods. I mean, even like the nature gods and stuff, people sacrifice people to them.
Yeah, but nature spirit, it's like the sun. You know what you're gonna get in exchange. Gods that don't.
So yeah, basically in human mythology for Tresius and Ryzen, uh, the humans believed that they were brought to the lands by basically the raven carried the worm and the worm created or the worm carried the humans. Some people think that because the raven brought the worm, that the raven is divine and the worm is not, and some people think that because the worm brought humans, the worm is divine and the raven is not.
Humans.
So as a small trophy, I would like to take a few links of his broken chainmail.
They are easy enough to pick up off the ground.
All I see is like his silhouette in chainmail on the ground, like when Scott Pilgrims get cornered in the shape of someone.
So yeah, the holy symbol looks like a very stylized Ouroboros with like the serpent eating its own tail.
I'll sense magic. Why not?
The boots are definitely magical.
The holy symbol is not.
The holy symbol is not.
I'll dock the willpower first.
Sorry, the colonel's boots are magical?
No, the one left boot is actually magical.
I was going to say, just to be a dick, I'm taking the colonel's boots.
Okay.
Well, Desi, that symbol is of your people.
Hmm. Don't know that I really have people, but sure.
I think this and me agreed on the fact that religion is
Bullshit.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
I mean,
other than it
maybe
being real.
maybe not religion, but most religious fanatic.
I think the gods ought to just stay the fuck out of everything. And humans and people should definitely stay out of God stuff.
I mean, some people's things I make pact with in the woods and the mountain as gods. That there's something you make deal. Gods are complicated.
Yeah.
Oh, so how are they complicated? I don't understand.
it makes people do stuff that I don't understand. They do stuff because they think their God wants them to do it, even if they have no proof of it. Thing telling them that they do, just assume what the gods want. So, as a as a rule, I don't trust religious.
Well, we know rust exists.
Yep, I don't
I
think it's
suppose
better
the
when
serpent could as well.
yeah. Usually the gods I deal with are the one I can speak with. Forest as spirit, the mountain as spirit. They want things, you can make a deal. God of strange is they don't ask. People decide what they want and try to enact their will, which is something terrible when around them. Like the people
Humans are
with,
short-sighted, as a rule.
I mean, feel like they're going to our religion so they have meaning. If your life is short, you try to find meaning in it.
That makes some sense.
I just follow what instincts guide me to.
The only god I intend to speak with is Jaguz, shortly before we kill him.
Yeah. The fact that people can talk and exchange with Jakkus way to one of the land god, but I don't think he has his place as
He does have a great deal of power. Hopefully this weapon will work. Speaking of which,
well. Let's see if there's anything useful in that camp, and then we can go back to getting your lagoon.
We should really track down those two that ran off and end them.
why?
Because slowly bleeding out, whether it's externally or internally, is a fucking miserable way to die.
It's better than where
End
he's
it
going.
quick. It.
It's not a favor, I assure you.
Maybe their god will save them.
Who do we think they were worshipping again?
The worm.
Oh, fuck. Shit. And there's no way we
Those
can
guys.
stop their souls from. Fuck.
Well, I could, in theory, stop their souls from going to hell, yes.
How?
Ripping it from their body and stuffing it in a container.
Okay, let's go do that.
It's difficult and dangerous magic. But possible.
Have you done it before?
In
To a human?
theory, to a human, no. It should work. Humans have souls.
I mean, that's
They're
what people
fragile
keep
souls.
telling us.
I could put him in your crown if you wish. It would be a mercy.
I mean, anything sounds like it would be better. I'm just.
I can also find him and save him. And hope he learns something of that encounter.
Am I really feeling that merciful? I mean, I don't really care if the guy lives or dies. I just don't want him to sit and suffer. Because,
He can
again,
sit and suffer Jakuz. He can be ended and feed Jakuz. Or I can save him and he
yeah,
can see if he rather fate in me or in Jakuz. Or in the war. It's all I can offer him. I can give him the choice. The only way I see him not is if save it. Maybe he'll learn something. But
Prestius
needless
is
to
watching this
discover.
all very, very intently. He's trying to figure out what's happening. He's very confused.
Ryzen's also just kind of quietly watching as with a what the fuck is going on here.
I mean, I'm not confused, but Trestius is very.
I don't
Ryzen's
mind
confused.
leaving. I don't mind leaving him to die, but if the concern is that he's feed Jakuz, I don't think one soul can make a difference.
makes a difference to him.
Yep.
If we can, I'd like to end him quick and not let his soul go to Jakuz. So if we have the ability to do that, I'd like to.
Yeah, well, Okatai, see if you can find him.
Oh, finding him. I could fucking find him in these woods.
Yeah, the
He
blood is
left a
there. And
bright red trail. The guy I just kind of smacked with the back of the axe in the abdomen, he might be harder to find, but I imagine he's making some noise. And yeah, he's probably left a different kind of trail. And I doubt he got very far. It would hurt like a bitch. Buddy with the arm, though, or without the arm. He won't be hard to find.
The guy without the arm is like right there. He didn't get far.
No, I wouldn't imagine.
He's like, I can hear you talking about me.
Hey, buddy. name's Desi. I'll be your executioner today. So we gonna try this?
It'll take time.
How long does it take?
6 hours or so.
Oof.
You are asking me to remove his soul and embed it into an item permanently.
Yeah, that's true. The other guy. We
If I
should
save
probably
him, if
track
I
him
save him,
down.
I'm just gonna focus. He's not gonna have a. He's gonna have a bad week anyway.
I don't know that you could save either of them.
Okatai could.
Yeah, maybe. But
I'm just saying that's a way of preventing their soul.
yeah,
I'm curious why removing their soul is somehow preferable to saving their lives.
yeah, that's fair.
Unless
I'm
you
just saying
wish
that
them punished.
I just don't think. Fine. Try to save their lives. What are we gonna do with them after?
This guy has one arm. Don't think he's gonna be a threat, and maybe this experience will give him a change of fates. God didn't came to save him. He can take his cracked knot commander, bring him wherever.
None of this will matter in a week or so.
It'll matter for that week. For that week, though. If it only takes us a week. And that's still an if. But yeah, sure, try to save them. We can always stick them in a. We can stick them back in their halfling cage and just. I don't know. Stick them in the village square or something.
You'll see the armless guy and see if he's still alive.
The guy missing his arm has passed on while you guys were having this discussion.
Yeah, so
Poor guy.
that's honestly what I expected.
Poor guy's like, they're going to save it. They're not going to save it. They're going to save it. They're not going to save it. They're gonna, oh.
I'm hoping he was unconscious for like most of that conversation.
He
I
was
wish he.
he was not
Hey.
actually, because Desi did not do enough damage to break him.
Oh. Yeah.
Good job,
That's what I
Desi.
get for suddenly developing a conscience. What the fuck? Ah, these things are uncomfortable.
That'll learn
I
you.
don't like it. I don't like it at all.
He'll grow out of them.
Oh, well, that's a relief.
Does
Just a
the guy
phase.
who got a belly slashed went far?
He ran off. And the completely healthy guy ran off as well.
There was a completely healthy guy?
Yeah, there was the guy that booked it first
Yeah.
chance he got.
Oh, I didn't get to
He got the
him.
initiative before all of us. He just quit before it all started. He was just like, nope, not dealing with that bullshit.
He was like, run or die, you say?
Oh, I take run. We're trying to find a stomach guy. Take me to half a day.
Yes, it will.
I mean, we got things to do and places to be.
How strongly is Desi? Like, is it? Oh, we should really go help this guy. Oh fuck, it's gonna take like 6 hours. Yeah.
I mean, I respond to people concerned that we're feeding Jakku. And if I can make him spade in his religion, that's a win. But I might be cynical about
It's
it.
it's so much easier when they just die quick in combat, like they should,
What's the difference?
you know, on their feet. The difference is I don't have second thoughts after. That's the difference. It's not easier for them if they die in combat. Well, I mean, it is easier for them too.
Yeah.
It's definitely easier for me.
Well, we
Uh, neither of these guys were gonna do anything. I chased them down. I mean, they probably would have
well,
told somebody where we are, though. And then those people would have come and chased us down. But that's kind of
they
down the road.
capture they capture a bunch of that because they insult their imaginary.
Yeah. What were they going to punish you guys with?
They were torturing us until we wrote an apology play.
And you guys didn't start writing immediately because.
Oh no, we're working on it, but being beaten is not conducive to the creative process. It was not, shall we say, our
No.
best work.
I'm really not a artsy person. I'll take your word for it. He's our artsy person, and he hit a guy in the groin so hard I think his back broke.
I mean, that's resident art for hitting people in the groin.
It's not the first time he's done that. So yeah, maybe.
This time it was not a headbutt that made a crack. You're 3 miles. But his armor did explode.
Do any of you guys know where these soldiers were from?
No, we just encountered them out here. We're traveling minstrels going from one place to another, looking for a coin, places to bed down, eat, drink, be merry. You know, the life of the itinerant playwright and company.
Did they say anything about being mercenaries?
They said they were missionaries. I don't think that's the same thing.
No, I don't think so.
Not always. I mean, sometimes probably.
Here to spread the word of their god. We thought maybe we'd poke a little bit of fun. Bad idea.
They would have met other religious things before. So while we check the camp, I'm gonna check if they had any wanted posters.
I mean, there's basic camp supplies here, but nothing out of the ordinary.
Food and water.
Yes, there would be some food and water. Basically,
Weapons we could salvage, maybe.
no, they took. Oh well, the dead guys have their broadswords and their shields.
No armor though,
One guy has armor. The
but
armless
missing armor.
the armless guy is has his armor.
Can we top up water?
Yes, you can. You can top up water and food.
Or
Well, we got ready to go try to get back some wood.
Well, you guys have already like harvested the wood. You spent the quarter day getting the 4 wood.
I mean, we were supposed to try to go get some calcinated wood too.
Yep. If
That's
you
been
want.
the plan for the day.
Yep.
We want to try to do that.
I mean, by the time you're done dealing with all this stuff, it is getting on towards evening. So.
Is that if I had tracked down the guy, I think he would be dead by the time I found him.
Mm,
Like takes me 6 hours.
yep.
That was my calculation.
Yep. And ruptured intestines kill you in 1d6 hours.
So my chance of finding him before he dies are quite slim. And it's not. It takes too long.
Yeah, okay.
But
He
yes.
just had like
POTUS and his crew will basically they'll load up with some supplies and they'll be like, "Thank you very much. Good luck with the boot." And we'll be sure to tell people about your activities here in a flattering way. In a flattering way. Just want to be very, very clear that we will be generous in our description of your heroics.
yeah, just keep it nice. But next group you speak in front, just check their leaning, let's say, so you don't end up in a cage again.
Well, they say great artists have to suffer for their art, so we're on the way.
If you meet people that pray Jacuz or something like that, know that that's a demon. So be careful.
It's time to set up.
All right, and they will make their way elsewhere. Leave you guys to decide what to do with the evening.
can't sleep, right?
Oh, is Ryzen trying the boot on?
Yeah, sure. I'll try the boot on.
When you do the boot, basically changes the fit, and basically another right boot appears on your right foot. Kind of shoddy looking. But you find that this particular left boot gives you a perfect sense of balance. You can balance on like the narrowest of things, including like you can walk a tightrope without having to roll. You cannot be knocked prone. And you no longer suffer the penalty for remaining on your feet with a dodge.
I'm gonna test. Can I walk up a wall or a tree like just ordinary, like Adam West and Batman?
You can't walk up it, but if you get like a running start, and as long as you get onto a horizontal surface before you stop running, yes.
Interesting.
It's gonna make dodging way more efficient.
I just wonder why
Yeah, I'd
only
imagine.
one.
Too hard to do two.
Most items have some sort of disadvantage to them as well, so be careful.
First, I'm going to try to take it off. Does it come off easy enough?
It does.
Okay, so that's not how it's cursed if it's cursed.
I think the curse is only the ugly other group.
Through trial and error, you discover that basically, while it gives Ryzen perfect balance, it does affect everybody else's balance. Basically, anybody within short range, so anybody in the same zone as Ryzen, has a -1 on all agility checks.
That's terrible.
There's the rub.
So it seeks equilibrium. It gives Ryzen greatly enhanced balance, but it penalizes everybody else's balance.
Makes everybody want.
Makes everybody just a little bit clumsier.
I can take it off.
Great for a warrior who's surrounded by enemy and no allies.
But for the evening, what is everybody going to do?
If we wanted to go try to get the wood, would it be too late to get there and go back to camp?
Yes. Especially because currently you don't have a camp.
Well, we're at a camp right now.
You are in a camp right now, yes.
I could well, if somebody want to rest here, I can make camp at the factory.
Well, we have a
We
camp,
can
so
just take over the camp.
yeah, why not? And people can sleep, get ready for the evening watch, and
Hmm.
I'll watch with the graveyard, I suppose. Well, you go get wood.
I mean, we need to walk quite a bit to get the wood, so I think it's a tomorrow morning thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, basically because it takes you a quarter day just to harvest the wood, so that'll take you into night.
And we need to, once we go get the wood, we need to go back. And that's another quarter day, I think.
Yeah, if you're just like dipping in, dipping out, it's like a quarter day total for the in and out, and then a quarter day for harvesting. So you're looking at like half a day to get the wood.
Yeah.
Well, that'll be
So
the
we
plan
need
for
to do
tomorrow.
it. Yeah.
All right.
So stand guard for now. Risen and Desi want to sleep. I'll work on my paper.
Trustius is on watch. Can
Yep.
give me a scouting roll.
I'll get Greg to help.
Okay.
And you get a it's not my camp. So you get a
Okatai can give me a lore roll, and Ryzen and Desi are sleeping.
Yay, sleep.
Okatai is not having good luck today.
Yeah. Trying to think about things. That is hard, right?
Right, the evening passes. No sign of anything troublesome.
That's strange.
Ain't over yet.
Yep. Nighttime. I believe nighttime brings us to Desi and Ryzen on watch.
And I get to click my rest button.
And you and Ryzen can both click your rest buttons.
Yay, sleep!
Haven't done that in a while?
I'd like to increase the talent.
Okay.
I'm gonna get Berserker.
Alright. And during the evening, or during the night, Desi and Ryzen, between you guys, one of you can give me a scouting roll with a plus... Well, actually with a -1, because it's dark.
Ooh. With a -1, I am 3.
With a -1, I'm also 3.
Ladies first. Go right ahead.
Alright.
Mark's only the expert on like spot hidden and stuff on Wednesdays.
Oh, yeah.
Considering Wits is my second best,
I see nothing.
considering Wits is my second best, I should really buy some scouting lore at some point. for
Probably
these
should.
campaigns.
Alright.
But I'm trying to make myself into a buff little tank.
You're
I think you
busy
should
looking
get-
over your new shoe.
I think you should get melee charge so you can maximum ability to kill. I see Desi
I
using
have
that
to
all the time.
admit, I really like melee charge.
The
You're
nighttime
like, what?
nighttime passes safely and soundly. Trustius and Okutai can both hit the rest button. Everybody can roll their food and water. It is a
Do
new.
they have food and water we could just use so we don't have to use our own supplies today?
Yes.
Cool. I will do that.
It makes sense that there would be, leftover rations and stuff here at the camp.
Do we have enough for more than one person to do that?
Yes.
Excellent. I will do that as well.
And then you guys are heading out to look for some of the calcified wood.
Yep, the in and out strategy because that place is too hot.
Which direction are you going? Towards the water or not? Basically, southeast or southwest?
Not back where the goblin were.
Okay.
So that would be southeast, I think.
Okay. So I will need a lead the way roll since it is a new hex. And I will also need a scouting roll.
I'm gonna lead the way.
Oh, there you go. And a scouting roll from somebody.
I got 5 days space.
Oh, go for it.
Beats me. Go for it.
Success. All right. So as you guys make your way down into the Ashlands, it is hot here, and you guys can see that to your west there is another volcano.
Oh, that explains why. There's more.
That's why it's so fucking hot. That explains. Right.
It was a bit overreaching, but there's more than one.
Yeah. That explains it.
But yes, like the other volcano, there are some of these black calcified trees that kind of grow in the volcanic ash. The sort of trees that you were looking for to make a bow for Trustius. But Trustius, since you succeeded on your scouting roll, you can see on some of these trees, there are, like at a distance, at a little bit of a distance, it looks like there's bodies crucified to some of these trees.
Oh, Jack.
Probably maybe a dozen.
Are they closed or?
From this distance, you can't tell. This is just kind of like
They kind of shit.
this is what you see with your one success in the scouting at a distance.
I'll alert the others. Keep our eyes about us.
So, where?
The world called would do.
Bodies nailed to the trees.
Yeah, as you're starting to make your way into this like calcified forest,
Oh, that's fucked up.
and as you get closer, you can see that all of the bodies are headless.
Oh, that's really fucked up.
All of the bodies have been slit from their like navel up to where their head would have been. The rib cage is pried open. And Trustius, you realize that all of these bodies, this dozen or so bodies, they're all elven.
No
And,
gems to be seen.
and deliberately had their rubies pulled out.
Are we a bit in higher ground right now?
Not that high.
Is there any tree I could get a bit of high ground?
There are all kinds of calcified trees. It's like a little a little copse of the calcified trees.
Okay. I want to try to use Arcai that allows me to see from prison to prison with details,
Okay.
just so I can scan the landscape, see if I see anybody moving, anything other gruesome scene of the sort around.
Give me a scouting roll.
I have it on my just gonna cost the willpower to do.
Okay.
I'm gonna save class. Didn't seem to roll, but
One bane, no successes.
damn it. Gonna push it in 6. I see everything. It's just not very good.
Did you want to push it?
Yeah, I'm trying to.
I can push it for you. Oof, two damage to wits, but a success. So yes, you can see basically over here. There is like a little bit of a campfire, and with your hawk's eye, you can see that it's a good sized group. It's probably about 10 people. Seem to be like kind of sitting around a camp. Like some of them are playing cards, and they're using some sort of red stone as a basically currency. Basically, they're gambling with elvish rubies.
Dude, what species those people?
They are elves.
They are elves themselves. Oh, that's fun. Okay. I'm gonna go down my tree. Uh, I think I found a secret for the massacre. There's a camp on the side of the there. There's a 10-ish elf there, and they are gambling using ruby as elven stone.
This is not getting less fucked up.
No, this feels terrible to me. I don't know if I understand elven culture enough, but this feels.
Desi's watching Trustees.
Let's go kill them.
I had a feeling you'd say something.
Right. And
I was kind of afraid you would not. That would have been strange.
with that, I think we'll call it there. Seems like an ominous note to leave it on.
Oh yeah,
5 on 10's not
good.
good.
No, if we're coming and they don't see us,
Right.
Yeah,
like
that's a
the
lot of
motion.
elves.
10 of them.
Yep.
So XP
Oh.
for tonight. Did you participate in the game session? Yes.
Yep.
Travel through at least one hex. You did.
Eventually.
Gotcha. Discover a new adventure site. Nope. Defeat one or more monsters. Nope. Find a treasure, 1 gold or more. Yeah, between the between the loot that you got at the camp and the rations and stuff. Yes.
And the magic
And before cold,
shoe.
And the magic boot. No functions. Nobody activated pride. Suffer from dark secret. Don't think so. Risk your life for another PC. I don't think so. Perform any extraordinary actions.
It was my first big intimidation attempt.
That's true.
yeah,
That was pretty
that's
cool.
just that made the guy shit himself and saying it was very nice.
And I mean, that was a
Desi was
lot of
laughing her
dice.
head,
You probably
and Desi was just laughing back.
you probably would have been fine had you not caused the guy to have a psychotic break.
Well, I mean,
Those things happen.
If you
It
would,
was an appropriate reaction.
yeah. Right. So that looks like 1, 2, 3. Looks like 3 XP and 4 for Trustius.
yeah, that whole rep thing, like the difference in your rep gives you bonus dice. As soon as I saw that, I was like, wait a minute.
Yep.
Nice. Yeah, Trustius is definitely the rep heavy one.
Yeah.
For sure.
He got that result so often.
But yes, we'll pick this up next week as you guys decide how you're going to approach a group of elves that outnumber you 2 to 1.
And at some point, we're finally gonna cut down to some of.
And at some
To the fucking tree.
at some point, you're going to cut down some calcified wood.
Right.
Been
I think
trying for 4 days now, 5 days.
I think I might use Brieth for the first time in ages.
Oh yeah, she'll like this.
I'm
yeah.
thinking that she will not take kindly to elves gambling with elven gems and will want to get in on that fight. I'm hoping.
I don't know. I don't know
We'll see.
how it's like sacrilege. Like this
I
feels
don't know. Her
blasphemy.
moral compass just seems all
Right.
weird.
Like,
Braith is in D&D terms lawful neutral.
She's definitely lawful.
Yeah.
And Desi really just doesn't give a shit.
All right. So we'll see everybody. We'll see everybody next week.
Perfect.
Yep.
Thanks, guys. Thanks, Chris.
Yep.
Thanks, everybody. Take
Thanks.
care.
Have a
Night,
good night,
guys.
folks.
Good night, y'all.